Bruh. It's just sing it. It's just another Monday.
Just another effing Monday.
Or Manning Monday, either way.
Oh, yeah, that too.
All right. Welcome. Hello.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody.
Glad you made it back.
Yeah, took a little time off. The batteries are what they call recharged. The creative juices have been flowing this morning. Feeling pretty good. Not going to lie.
All right.
I need more of these. Every 3 months, I need another vacation.
Speaking of which, Creed will be gone this Friday and Monday. Just FYI. Apparently, we have a trip to the mountains.
Hell yeah, brother.
I forgot about because I was so focused on the fact that it happens during the Roval. So I'm going to be bouncing back and forth between racing and vacationing. I think we'll be back Tuesday, though. I have to double check with
So I should say see you next Tuesday.
That's right. Yes.
Gotcha.
Anyways, good to see everybody. It is time for some court, and we always love our Judge Alex Manning.
Yes. And this is another classic TPO Creed. Some pew talk in here, so viewer discretion is advised.
Oh no. Well, I'm ready. Ready to jump in it? We're ready to start.
Let's get knee deep.
Are we rusty? It's been a whole we missed an entire week of court.
It's all right. We'll bounce back.
All right, I swear affirm testimony you're about to give is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. Mr. Moore?
I do.
All right, Ms. Moore?
Melissa?
Yeah, take yourself off mute.
Yes.
All right, you just want to go straight into testimony, Ms. Dixon?
I'll do a brief opening, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead.
Your Honor, the petitioner received ex parte relief under OCGA 1913-3 due to the acts of violence that have been committed against her by the respondent, her estranged husband, and previous acts of violence that were also committed against her before. You'll find based on my client's testimony today that she is a victim of family violence, and the relief we are requesting today, Your Honor, should be granted.
All right.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Okay. Please state your name and age for the court.
Chelsea Moore, 34 years old.
What's your education level?
High school.
Okay. Are you currently employed, Ms. Moore?
Yes.
She answered that the same way that I would too.
Yeah. And how stupid are you? Before we get started.
I was like that. I did go to 2 semesters, kind of college. I mean, that sounds
brag.
It sounds better though, doesn't it? Than just saying high school.
Well,
She almost said it. She almost said it under her breath too. Chelsea, BLT lover.
I mean, if you only made it to like 3 days until your senior year, would you be like, high school, 3 days senior year?
Okay. And Mr. Moore is your husband, correct?
Yes.
Are you two currently living together?
No.
Okay. And where are you currently living?
Before yesterday, I was living with family and friends.
Okay. And what happened yesterday?
The Fulton County Sheriff displaced him from the home.
Ooh.
Okay.
Right.
Kicked his ass out.
Okay.
Good way to
Displaced.
crowbar that right in there perfectly. I love that.
He was displaced by me, the high school graduate.
And have you
And a couple of officers may have escorted a little.
May have
bit
been
too.
involved.
Maybe.
filed a divorce action as well in this county?
Yes.
Okay. And was a temporary order entered in that case, removing him from the home?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Who's currently living in the residence with you?
Me and my children.
Okay. How many children do you
That
have?
would be my children and I. Wonder Twin Double D getting her started. Thank you. Hallelujah.
Thank you. First one on, baby.
I have 2 children,
What are their ages?
14 and 15.
Okay. Girls or boys?
Two daughters.
Is they as
Okay.
dumb as you?
Are these children you share with Mr. Moore?
No.
Okay. All right. Ms. Moore, you filed an ex parte TPO on August 31st, 2022. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Can you describe what motivated you to file for that TPO?
My husband was violent with me.
Oof.
Okay. And in what ways was he violent with you?
I was punched in the face. An ashtray was thrown at me and
Okay.
dragged by my hair.
Who keeps
Okay.
ashtrays in their house
And
nowadays?
do we have pictures to present before the court of some of the bruises that you sustained from that incident?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Your Honor, if I may share my screen.
Is her
Sure,
face
go
still
ahead.
swollen?
Thank you.
Ashtray. For all the kids watching,
Okay.
ashtrays are what you use to put your cigarettes
Mr.
in.
Moore, can you see the screen?
Okay.
Okay.
Ugh.
Ms. Moore, I'm showing you, excuse me, what's been marked for identification purposes as Petitioner's Exhibit 1A. Do you recognize this picture?
Yeah,
Okay, have you made any changes to it?
no,
Okay. Your Honor, if I may tender into evidence Petitioner's Exhibit 1A.
Any objections?
Yes, Your Honor. I was not the source of that bruise.
Well,
Okay, I'll hear from you later on where you believe the source came from. But as to the bruise itself,
I can see the bruise. I acknowledge it. Yes.
all right, no objections is submitted. Go
Thank
ahead.
you. All right, Ms. Moore, this is a picture of your arm, correct? How did you get this bruise?
when I was being attacked by my husband.
Okay, what exactly did he do to you to give you this bruise?
Right there is him grabbing at my arms from above my head.
Okay. And let's go to 1B. This is another bruise, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and how did you get this bruise and where is this at on your person?
That's on my right buttocks. That's from being drugged
Where?
by my hair throughout the apartment.
Okay. All right, and let's go to 1.
if we get any more intimate, I'm gonna have
Go
to
to
cover them up.
1C.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was an
This
ad.
is another bruise,
I didn't
correct?
either.
Yes.
Okay, and can you describe where the bruise is and how you got it?
That's on my left leg above my knee from falling to the floor.
Okay, and what caused you to fall to the floor?
The second punch.
Okay, so
He was.
let's move
If he
on
did
to
half of this stuff, he needs his
1D.
ass beat.
Can you
Absolutely.
describe this bruise as well and how you received it?
Yes, that's from hitting my foot on the door when he was dragging me by my hair on the floor.
All right, and I believe this is the last one of the bruises. Can you describe this picture for me and how you received this bruise?
Yes, the same one, my right leg from falling to the ground and raising up against the molding in the doorway.
Okay. Ms. Moore, have you made any changes to the exhibits 1B through 1D? Well,
No, ma'am.
okay. Your Honor, if there's no objection, I'd like to tender into evidence exhibits 1B through 1, I think we're at E.
Yeah, I hope he was arrested.
Any
for this.
objections, sir?
No.
All right, so they're admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I don't know how he's going to explain
Yeah,
away that much bruising.
All those
there's-
bruises. He's gonna say she was like jumping out of airplanes and had a crash land. I mean, this is a lot to explain. Douglas, this guy's got some explaining to do, and I hope he was arrested because as a person who has been through these sort of things, for her to come forward and do all this, I commend her just for that. Even if only one of those bruises was made by that man, he deserves anything he gets.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that he spoke up on the first one where you've got like 20 different bruises happening.
I know. Oh, that's not me though. Okay, we'll see.
All right, so Ms. Moore, earlier I heard you say from the second punch. I need you to describe for the court exactly what happened during that incident, from the beginning of the incident to the end.
I confronted my husband about cheating and financial issues, and he became upset and aggressive and punched me, which landed on the right of my face. The second time he punched me, I fell to the floor. And that's when he dragged me by my hair throughout the apartment, and my 15-year-old daughter witnessed it and called the police.
Okay.
Thank God.
All right, and Ms. Moore, what happened when the police arrived?
I was very adamant that I didn't want my husband to get in any trouble. And they decided that we would just separate for the night. And me and my daughter went to a hotel that evening.
I hate to say that, but that's such a common thing, isn't
It
it? You know?
is, man. I don't want him to get in trouble. He's the one that's, making all the money. He owns the place we're living in. He's, there's so many things at play. And I know people are screaming, well, why'd you do that? You really never know the mental mindset of what this person has been through that's got him to this point. So you really don't know. We can't really say too much because we really don't know what all she's been through. And just this one incident could be one of many incidences that we're going to discuss.
Anthony, good news. Neither have we. So
you're all caught up, Anthony.
That's right. You're back on track.
No worries.
5 months of memory. Thank you. Hallelujah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. And Miss Moore, is this the first time that your husband has shown any aggression towards you or been violent with you?
No.
Okay. Has he ever been violent with you in the past? In what ways?
In October 2020, he shot my house up and put 8 bullet holes in our house.
Okay. And do we have pictures of the damage and the bullet holes in your home to present before the court today?
Like a drive-by?
Okay, Your Honor.
Or is this like
yes, go ahead.
Is this like a like in-home pew-pewing?
All right, Ms. Moore, I am showing you what's been marked for identification.
Oh my God, that's straight into the mirror.
Oh, that's not just bad luck. That's a nice bathroom too. By the way, my dog's home.
I hear that.
Purposes as petitioners exhibit 2A, B, C.
Was that the
and
TV?
D. Have you made any changes to these documents?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Are we going to see it again? Or
And what are these pictures?
I don't know.
These are pictures of the shots that my husband fired in the home.
Okay. Your Honor, if there's no objection, I'd like to tender into evidence petitioners exhibit 2A, B, C, and D.
Yeah. She keeps going by that.
Any objections?
Definitely the TV.
I do object to the circumstances. Should I wait till my turn to ask questions regarding that?
I don't think I understand.
Well,
You object.
How you explain this?
That had nothing to do with family violence. I brought the firearm over to Miss Chelsea's house because at that we were separated, and she stays on the bottom level. And she said that it would be individuals walking past her door, and a couple times people knocked on her door, and she became scared. I lived in Peachtree Corners. She lived in downtown Atlanta. I told her I would bring her my firearm to keep at her house to protect her and her children. Me and her end up going out having drinks that night, a lot of drinks. When we got back to her house, I was showing her how to use the gun, and the gun went off a couple times, twice to be accurate.
Twice.
A couple times. He's trying to show her how to do it and went off a couple times. Is he going to try to actually say that she accidentally?
That is the dumbest excuse I've ever heard. He's like, so it was out there. We had a couple drinks, a lot of drinks. And we came back and I said, look, let me try to use this gun.
Yeah, now's a good time after a whole bunch of drinks tonight.
It went off like 2 times.
Whoa, Mr. Moore. Stand by. Whoa.
Thank you, Manning. Thank you.
I love it when somebody says the gun goes off. Now,
Yes, ma'am.
15 years of law enforcement, military, a whole bunch of other stuff. The nomenclature of a gun goes off when a finger's in the trigger and it gets pulled. So
Correct.
it just doesn't go off. So
No,
somebody pulled the trigger. Now, one, shooting a gun off in a house is loud. So if you do it once, you sure as heck aren't going to do it twice. So the gun went off because somebody pulled the trigger. Who pulled the trigger, Mr. Moore?
It was the I
Boom. All right. I think you need to stop. I think you really need to stop talking. Go ahead. Overrule your objection. Go ahead, Ms. Dixon.
Thank you, Your Honor. All right, Ms. Moore, briefly, because the evidence speaks for itself. These are pictures of the gunshots in this bathroom. Whose bathroom is this?
My children.
Okay. How many gunshots is there? Do you see?
4.
Okay. And here's another picture. There's also 4
That's
shots
so
here.
weird
It looks like
looking.
one went through the, well, that looks like 5.
5.
4. Oh, 5. Yeah, one went through the TV as well.
Oh,
Oh, look at them all on the wall.
I'm like, what is she talking about? Now I see. Oh, yeah, it only went off twice and one to TV.
The one is like
Whoops.
through the TV, looks like the portal to hell or something.
It does. That's scary looking.
It's scary as hell. Happy Halloween.
How about the TV takes a bullet and still is on?
Still
anyway.
on. It didn't die. It may have not be the same. It won't never dance again, but
All right.
It
So he
survived.
just tried to say it was 2 times, and now we're just counting
it's
up.
so
how
full
many.
of shit. Come on, dude.
He's not doing so well. I don't think I could still understand maybe one time using that as an
Once.
excuse. One time. And
Once.
she's right. Yeah, you still got it right. It just doesn't fire itself. None of them. Tony Peggy. This is a wild one, no doubt. I give her credit for giving him a chance to go ahead and kind of bury himself a little bit more there. That.
Mm-mm.
Okay, let's go to this one. There are also
Oh!
additional shots in the shower. Is this also in your daughter's bathroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
In the opposite
and
direction.
this is just another angle of the
So
bathroom.
2 different directions.
Okay.
And we're not just one over here, by the way. There's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so these the ones that go through the TV? And if these are like exits from what I
Oh,
can see, watching enough forensic files.
Yeah, maybe the TV's on the other end. You're right, because the way they're out.
Yeah, if you look, the bottom 3, and then the kill shot to the TV up there.
You're right. Yeah, is that where the yeah, that's the portal,
Mhm.
right?
The portal to hell.
I think you're right.
Ms. Moore, did you call the police after this incident?
If you do go to IKEA, make sure to try the meatballs are spectacular, and make sure to buy some of those blue bags, the giant. You can take them home with you. They're real flat. Trust me, they're a lifesaver. They're absolutely.
They also work great for luggage.
They really would, actually. They're better than black trash bags like most people use.
That's what I did.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
Okay, can you describe for the court why you did not call?
Out of fear, if that can happen to me while I'm in the house or to my belongings, it can happen to me.
Okay. All right, Ms. Moore. Let's talk about.
And Leanne, as somebody that's a slightly slow adult like myself, I had no idea what she meant, but I loved words sounded fun.
It sounded really impressive.
The August incident once more. After the August incident, your husband was not arrested, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Did anyone get arrested during that incident?
I did.
Okay, let's talk about that and how that happened. How did you end up getting arrested?
The following day after they separated us, they told me to come back to the residence and ask them for an escort because he had changed the locks that night. I did as such, waited for the police to come. On initial contact, they asked me what happened to my face. I told them that my husband had been violent with me. They asked me why he didn't go to jail. I told them that I was very adamant about him not getting in any trouble. And they asked me again in front of him, once we made contact with him, what happened to my face, and I refused to answer.
Okay, and did your husband give a narrative about what happened that day?
Yes, my understanding is that he said that I attacked him.
Okay.
And he did nothing
To you.
to me.
Okay. And was your refusal to, I guess, speak in front of him, do you believe that that's the reason you went to jail?
Yes, they considered it me changing my story since I didn't repeat what happened to me or didn't say what happened to me in front of my husband.
Okay. And what was your reason for not repeating out loud what happened in front of your husband at that time?
Because of the prior incidents.
What about the prior incidences? Do you have a fear of something?
I had a fear of just what could happen, seeing as he shot up my house before and shown aggression on higher levels before.
Did she just say basically that you were right when you were wondering if it was shooting inside the house or a drive-by? I think that she just admitted that there's been a drive-by before also, but I could be wrong. And she kind of said that.
And for her to get arrested, she ended up getting arrested because she changed her story.
Yeah.
I mean,
it makes your blood boil. Doesn't it?
That's just crazy. And this guy, I mean, he is dangerous. And for her to, I like that they tried to make it sound like she manhandled him, maybe. When obviously, you know, he's way bigger than her and he's got the big muscles.
Musculature.
That too.
Okay. And very briefly, Ms. Moore, has your husband ever
Beverly, and she said shot at the house before. I thought that's what I heard, but I could be wrong.
Or they did shots at the house. Cheers.
Shots.
made contact with you before and you've asked him to stop?
Yes, several times. I actually filed the TPO in April.
Okay. Why did you file that TPO?
And I asked him several times to not make contact with me or my children. One Sunday, we as in my children and I went to church. I parked and looked across the street to make sure they had made it in safely. And Mr. Moore was standing outside of the children's church, handing my children money and engaging in conversation with them after I asked him not to repeatedly.
Okay. Had he ever shown up to anywhere else unannounced or when you asked him not to?
My job, my house, several times.
Okay. And did you ever confront him during those incidences?
On the occasion of him showing up to my house one Monday, it was about 7 o'clock in the morning. I asked him not to do that. And then again, at children's church, I asked him not to make contact with me or my children.
And what was his response when you asked him not to do that?
He was going to continue and that he didn't mind going to jail.
Okay. And how did he communicate this to you? Well, did you have a text message? Was it via phone call?
Verbal and text message.
Okay. Do we have a copy of that text message to present before the court today?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh boy.
Okay, Your Honor, if I may.
Sure.
Is Gerald gaming?
Ms. Moore, I'm showing you what's been marked for identification purposes as petitioner's exhibit number 3. We need to change that. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Okay, what is it?
A text message from my husband.
That's large enough. Everybody can read it, right?
I would think so. My question is this: why didn't we ask what his level of school was? Fine, I got to jail. ...
Okay, have you made any changes to it?
No, ma'am.
Your Honor, if there's no objection, I'd like to tender into evidence petitioner's exhibit 3.
Any objections?
No.
All right, submitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. All right, Ms. Moore, in April of this year, I'm assuming is when this exchange occurred?
Yes.
Okay, and this is a message where you're asking your husband to leave you alone and he's saying he'll go to jail, I'm assuming?
Right. Correct.
Okay, and his behavior continued even after these text messages, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right, Ms. Moore. Are you asking, excuse me, based on the respondent's conduct, Ms. Moore, are you in fear of your safety?
Yes.
Okay. In addition to filing this TPO, what other steps have you taken to try and protect yourself?
Just keeping in constant contact with friends and family, letting them know where I go if anyone is not available to go with me.
Okay. Are you asking that the court extend the protective order for 12 months?
Yes.
Okay. Are you asking
that part is kind of like, that's terrifying if you think about that, if you really do live that way, which I from the sounds of it, if it's all that's what happened,
Right. I mean, we're making a snap judgment, of course.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't heard the whole case, but
right,
that's what we do. That's the whole point of what's going on here. And why is Timothy sitting in such a feminine chair?
Looks like a wrought iron outdoor chair.
It's like an outdoor chair, right? Like
Gerald,
a patio chair.
Gerald's got something on his mind. I'm not quite sure what it is.
And I feel like Dwayne's over here telling somebody else in the room, this guy shot up the house. Like literally shot up the whole house. Like window, the walls, to the mirrors,
But
shower.
yeah, seriously, not being able to leave your house without having like a friend or family member with you, that's certainly terrifying. Got it?
I know you were awarded the marital home in your divorce case. Are you asking that the court enforce him to turn over the mailbox keys today as well?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any other property that you need from Mr. Moore?
There were a couple things taken from the home. Once I was there last night, just entertainment stuff for my children.
Are you asking that those items be returned to you as well?
Yes.
Okay. Are you asking that Mr. Moore be ordered to enroll in the Family Violence Intervention Program?
Yes.
Simon J. member for 3 months. Thank you. And you're right. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Moore?
You're up.
Yes, ma'am. On the dating question, August 27th, woke up 7 o'clock in the morning like I do every day.
Humble brag.
Chelsea was extremely upset. She blamed me. Well, she accused me of changing the password on her phone. So she hit my computer and immediately starts putting her hands on me. 8 o'clock that morning, I called the police immediately when she starts hitting. Officer comes to the scene. He talks to us both. He says, I can't do anything. He said, my suggestion to you, Mr. Moore, is you guys just stay in separate rooms and avoid each other, which I did. I work from home. So I stayed in my room on that day from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., just possibly going to the kitchen 1 or 2 times to get something to eat. When I got off at work at 5 o'clock on that date, I immediately got my car and left the house. I went out shopping, hung out, just passing time to avoid her at all costs. Because at this point, her anger has escalated every day. And my apartment complex had now put me on notice that my neighbors had filed complaints, 4 in total. So I'm still out. 8 o'clock, I get a random text from Chelsea that says, you need to come home. Bianca's coming to take her furniture. Bianca's a girl I dated from, I want to say February to about, May sometime. At this point, me and Chelsea had no involvement, rarely any contact. We weren't dealing with each other in any way. So she texts me that, telling me to come home. I walk in the house.
I'm kind of
immediately she starts hitting me.
Okay, so look, he's stepping out a girl he was seeing. It seems like probably overlapping with his time with this young lady.
It was like 4 months that they were seeing each other. He gets a text or whatever that Bianca, is that what he said?
Bianca
is coming to get her furniture.
Bianca's going to get her furniture. Again, this guy, he tells a story to a point and then he just jumps to something else. Hey, I had 4 complaints from my neighbors. For what? The noise? Because you're yelling at this poor lady. What's going on? That's getting all this stuff. He's still married. Yes, 100% still married.
Huh.
And he's in the dating scene. Can't keep him down.
Why would she come get the furniture though if they're only together for like 4 months while they're still married?
I'm in that. I've been in contact with this girl. I'm cheating on her. And I mean, it continues probably 15, 20 minutes. She repeatedly goes, grabs the cup, fills it up with water, throws it on me. She did that a total of 7 times. On top of punching me, smacking me, hitting me. I fill up a cup of water to drink. She smacks the cup out of my hand, and she shatters another glass in the kitchen. The glass bounces off the counter and cuts my arm. My arm starts to bleed. I got in the house around 8:30. I called the police the first time at 8:46. I told them she's being extremely aggressive. She's putting her hands on me. I need somebody to come out there now. Never once did I hit her. Never once did I retaliate. And her daughter, her 15-year-old daughter, was not home. Her 15-year-old daughter came home at about 9:30 from hanging out with her friends. And I do want to correct, her daughter never once called the police. Between 8:46 and 11:15, I called the police 6 times. I went into my room by myself, watched TV. Chelsea was out in the living room. She's still just yelling, cussing. She comes in the room I'm in now, again starts hitting me. Repeatedly. And again, I have not touched her. I get up to walk out the room. She's walking behind me. I walk out of my bedroom. She walks out of the bedroom behind me. I go back in my bedroom. I slam the door and I lock it. I go out on my balcony. I call the police again. I say she's continuing to hit me. She's continuing to attack me. I need an office hour here immediately. I'm on my balcony. She's in the other room. While she's in the other room, she gets a knife. She cuts all of the artwork in my apartment. She breaks several of the dishes and whatnot in the kitchen, all of which I showed to the police when they got there.
The Rembrandt.
It took them about an hour and a half to come to the residence.
The
They come
Warhol.
in. They immediately see the scars all over me. It was clear as day. They're on my neck. They're on my arms. The police documented them all. I gave them pictures. They completely evaluated what I looked like. They completely evaluated what she looked like. All of which was all captured on both of the officers' body cam. They asked me what happened. I told them exactly what happened. I was out. She texted me to come home as if somebody was coming to take my furniture. Immediately when I come in, she immediately was attacking me. They could see where my shirt was stretched out. They could see my shirt was soaking wet from her continuing to throw the water on me every 2 minutes and continuing to smack me, which I had scars on my neck, top of my head, because I'm bald, and on both of my arms, which I took photos and the police officers took photos of. I provided it to them. They said we should take her to jail. They asked me, is her daughter my daughter? I said no, but I'm very familiar with her daughter. They said it doesn't matter. If you're not her daughter's biological father, they have to take her and put her in defects. I also mentioned, I said, Chelsea Moore, 3 years ago, was arrested for doing the exact same thing. She attacked her prior husband in a doctor's office and was charged with assault and battery. I didn't want to get her in trouble whatsoever. I asked the officers, her mother and her family live in Georgia. I'm here by myself. I'm originally from Philadelphia. I said, I just want her away from me. She refused to leave. The officers at that point explained to her, while taking out their handcuffs, that Ms. Moore, you can either leave or you can go to jail, and we're going to take your daughter downtown to defects. She eventually grabbed some of her belongings, left the residence, okay? I go out of my balcony, I can see the police officers down there, and I see her pull out of my apartment complex. The officers leave probably about 5-10 minutes after that. As soon as they leave, she comes back in. She immediately comes back upstairs and tries to enter the residence after the officers walked her out and told her she has to leave the apartment complex. She tries to get back in the apartment. I literally am near the door and I stop and push the door so she can't get back in. I'm looking at my people. Her daughter's crying, screaming, Mom, let's go. Why are you coming back here? Mom, let's go. Why are you coming back here? I tell her to leave. She refuses to leave. She's still trying to get back into the apartment. I call the cops again. So this is, I believe, time number 5 or 6. I call the cops again.
All right. With the cops thing and calling the cops, that's all great if any of this did happen. Why? First of all, this dude should have brought a lawyer. If anything is true of what he was just saying,
Any of
he
it.
not have had a lawyer.
Yeah. Especially with
I mean,
her prior history that he's saying that she has.
Right. A
That
lawyer
would
could
be-
bring forth any of that prior history and show that,
Absolutely.
because he does have one little thing on his side about her actually getting arrested. That's
Yeah.
a little that could be. I mean, I'm just thinking as far as like as a lawyer is concerned, you could really pick that apart and make it look pretty bad for her. I'm thinking in ways.
By the way, in honor of the new month,
Yes.
him getting the water thrown in his face, we did hear he was from Philly originally, so I figured he is a 76ers fan. How dare she? I like that she watered him throughout the assault. Just a little bit of watering.
One other quick question, in case it just went over my head, which does happen quite often. Did he explain the reason why she just basically started beating on him when he got there with the computer? When he's sitting there,
He did say there was the accusation of cheating, which I think he's already admitted to, if I'm not mistaken. And that was one of the first things he admitted to. But he's saying the cheating. She wouldn't blame me for cheating. I told her that I was not going to come around here no more. Allegedly.
And they would have they may even have the calls too. Like if the lawyer got it, or if he called the 911.
I mean, it's hard. I mean, he could be telling 100% truth, but his credibility is kind of out the window a little bit just because of the way he's acting. He's acting so erratic right now.
And a lot of people said in the chat, and I'm right there with you. When somebody's lying, they usually do this long, drawn out craziness. And
I was surrounded on all sides by wagons.
And on top of that, like you had mentioned earlier, it tells this much of a story and then jumps to the next, and then the next. It's yeah, I don't know.
The cops come back out there. They should have arrested her, but her daughter was there, so they didn't. But they said, "Ma'am, you cannot come back here. You have to leave." At which time she left again and tried to come back again. At which time I called the police again. She immediately left that time. The officer came. I talked to him. I said, "Look, she tried to come back in this apartment twice after the initial officers were here. 2 times." The officer at that point suggested, like,
What's Dwayne doing?
I don't know, if you want to stay here, do something. Because obviously she keeps coming back. She comes back again, call us again. We're going to
Dwayne's getting ready for something. I hope that wasn't, I hope that was actually, I hope that he's, worried about washing his hands, not getting ready for something.
He was limbering up a second ago, though. He was like, yeah.
By the way, I don't know if you noticed, and somebody in the chat did mention it, but it was too far past it. His pants looked a little.
His pants did look a shovel, like maybe they either A, they don't fit, or B, he doesn't have to tuck in his shirt properly. Maybe, I don't know, but he was like,
I think it's listen. If you're gonna do it, that's the way to do it. You get the lotion going right while we're on.
Nobody look.
We're like,
nobody look on the computer.
Oh,
don't nobody look him on the computer.
Put her in jail.
Stuff.
I called the leasing office. I told them what was going on because the cops had been in my apartment that day.
Anybody else on something? Anybody?
Yeah.
You best need any.
Giving it away.
This party's about to start, son.
Brittany is not happy. Look at her face.
No, she's cute.
So I told them what's going on. They suggest I change the lock along with the officer, which I did. And I got multiple keys. Multiple keys. Okay. I go to sleep that night. The next morning,
best sleep I've
I
had.
get a knock on my door around 9 a.m. It's 2 officers and it's Chelsea. Okay. The
hold on, Mr. Mark, let me interrupt you. Where's your copies of your police reports, your copies of the body cams, all this stuff as far as evidence?
Again, I'm actually downtown at the courthouse. We have a court hearing coming up where she's currently charged in Fulton County with assault and battery.
Okay, so we're not going to answer the question. We're going to just.
I'm at the courthouse. What more do you want, Judge? You want me to start providing evidence? What kind of courtroom bullshit is this? Not me.
Tiny Piggy, thank you.
Not me.
I have, due to my prior job, I've been traveling nonstop. I've been having to be a witness because state of Texas, state of Portland, state of California, they are all suing my company. So I
think that is the answer. There's no evidence.
All those states are suing his business.
We need to know more about that.
What kind of business you doing that they after you being sued?
Been out of town. And
so you don't have any of this?
I don't have the police report. All I have is the booking information for her and the battery charges. That day, the sergeant, I requested a sergeant come to the residence. He looked at the body cam footage along with his supervisor. They confirmed she had no.
All right, Mr. Moore, I've kind of let you go on and on about what these cops said. They're not here. So every time you say the cop said something, I pretty much tune you out because I can't even consider that. So do you have a police report? Do you have where you've got the body cam, or do you have the cops here as a witness?
Ma'am, no. I will be 100%.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop you because I'm going to go ahead and stop you.
Okay.
Stop telling me what the cop said. They're not here because I've been keep tuning it out, but I'm honestly kind of tired of hearing it because I can't consider it. So,
okay. No, I said I was unprepared. I need to get.
All right, Ms. Dixon, do you have any questions for him?
No shit.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else, Mr. Moore?
No, Your Honor. Like I said, that's what happened.
Attorney thinks she's got it wrapped
Ms.
up.
Dixon, closing.
Yes, Your Honor. Briefly, based on the evidence presented before this court today, my client, Ms. Moore, will be considered a victim of family violence pursuant to OCGA 1913-1, Your Honor. We're asking that a 12-month protective order be entered pursuant to 1913-4. We are also asking.
That's the one thing I think that he said that was actually true, is that he was unprepared today.
Yes, but why is he parked outside the courthouse? Is he camping out? He said, we got a court case coming up later this week. I have a whole lot of gas from driving everywhere, so I need to stay here overnight.
That respondent be ordered to take FVIP and that he turn over the mailbox keys for the marital residence immediately.
That smug look.
Where do you want him to do, Ms. Dixon? Bring it to your office? Where do you want him to get the keys?
He can bring them to my office. Yeah.
All right. If you want to put the email as your address in the chat to Mr. Moore, I'm going to put this in place for 12 months. Sir, you got to take the FVIP class and you have to turn over the mailbox key. So Ms. Dixon, if Ms. Free emails you the Word document, are you going to write this up?
Ever free, ladies.
All right. And you just put in there, unlike on line 27, your address, and he needs to bring it by at a certain time, and you'll need to comply with that order, Mr. Moore. So if everybody on here, Ms. Moore.
Your Honor, I submitted the mailbox keys last night to the officer along with my residence keys. I gave them both.
Then you need to take proof of that to Ms. Dixon. And Mr. Moore, if you have that gun, if it's still not at her house, you need to surrender that gun to the local police department. And at your compliance hearing, you will bring a evidence sheet showing that you have surrendered that gun. Under this 12-month protective order, you are not allowed to have any weapons. Without
I don't
proof
have any guns, ma'am.
of you surrendering it, where's the gun that you brought to her house to shut the house up with?
I sold that gun that year. As soon as that situation happened, I gave the gun to her father. I didn't want anything else to do with the gun, and the gun was ultimately sold that year. I don't own it anymore. I don't own any firearms.
Your Honor, my client actually has a magazine of a gun that was in that home. She has the magazine, so I'm not sure where the actual gun itself is, but there's a gun in that home.
So just have your client ask her father if that's exactly what he did. If not, sir, you need to go to your South Fulton, wherever it is, police department you live to, take it unloaded, turn it in, get an evidence form that'll show that you've turned it in there, and then
That's it.
I guess that's
She's
it.
basically saying, no, don't come around.
If you make me come over there, you'll be sorry.
Sorry, that dude. I think you're right. I think that the minute when he was talking about the pew pew going off and we saw that's when Judge Manny just knew that's.
Well, he just set himself up as being a just out and out liar right then, especially that many times. And he tried to say, "Oh, just off a couple times, just a couple, one or two." Not
what a great way to back to a week long court. We started off with the Manning
Manicotti Monday.
Hey, David Scott. Rip. Got a manicotti. Come over, make that manicotti.
Tanya.
Thank you, guys. That was fun. That was a good one. And as always, Judge Manning.
Oh boy. All right, guys. We've had a lot of fun. If you want to hear about my Florida trip, we're going to talk about that after we got a Chase today. So if you haven't subscribed already to We Got a Chase channel, or if you're not subscribed to Credence and Mikey on the YouTubes, maybe you want to do that now so you can be a part of the whole rendition and pending lawsuit Mikey may have with Universal Studios Florida.
Is it over that burger? Because
no, it wasn't over the burger. It wasn't over that $18 burger.
Actually, I'm kind of surprised.
It was not bad. It was
When I heard somebody had said $30, and I was like, yeah, that probably was close to that.
It was 18.
The bacon. We could have done better. Okay, it's a damn resort. Nice
a little bit.
resort.
Could have given me some nice thick cut, but you take what you can get.
Get with them all, I guess.
So make sure you're back for that. And by the way, programming note, it is October, so look for some more spooky type programming coming your way. Also going to be reissuing some interviews myself, and I think it was Bishop and I on one, and Creed, and I think it was all of us on the other one. But yes, some horror related type stuff all coming up this month for the spookiest month of the year.
Speaking of spooky stuff, I gotta show you this.
Oh shit.
Let me see if I can bring it up though. It's pretty interesting.
This is Mikey drunk in the pool. Puking all in the pool.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool video here. So it's at Batavia Downs. It's a New York State ran casino. Ladies just cleaning. I'm gonna just so you know, watch this chair here.
Okay.
All right. It becomes prominent in a minute, but watch this chair. This lady just cleaning. What is it? 6:30 in the morning on September 7th.
Okay. All right.
And I am that chair while she's.
I'm not taking my eyes off that chair. I'm watching it. Watching. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Shimmy, shimmy, shake. Shimmy, shimmy, shake.
I mean,
I would say she's bumping the chair at the end, but she's not. She never once.
No,
hit
and watch her. Look at her. She's like, what? No. I mean, it's not just rocking. It's moving like left to right.
It's like, I don't
know.
Look,
the one next to it seems to be moving also. See this?
Huh.
I mean, you can tell by the way that she reacts to that. Look at her. She stands back. Look at the dude. This other person that's walking in. It's like, oh.
I mean, I hate to say something about this, but I too enjoy the slots. That was just one of my visits from the netherworld.
Isn't that crazy?
Don't touch my chair, bitch.
Yes. A 1 foot by 1 foot area of New York State earthquaking.
That chair was just getting off, brother.
Anyways, spooky stuff is always fun. Something like that. They just posted this today. I'm like, damn, that is.
If this chair's a rocking, don't come a knocking.
Right. Anyways, no, that was fun. There was lots of comments though, because a lot of people are like, "Oh my god, that had to have been Aunt Sally, who used to go. She's been gone for 2 years now." That was
Heck yeah.
No, this is New York State, not New York City by any means. Batavia's out in the middle of nowhere, near Buffalo, actually, kind of, sort of, right? Anyways,
that old lady should have sat on that chair.
Yeah, no, right. Thank you guys, appreciate you. The Manning Muscle Express, Wonder Twin Double D, Tiny Piggy. Thank you both, and we'll see you at 405 East.
That's right. Until then, you guys stay safe. You stay hard. You stay tuned. Check out some old videos. You never know what you'll find from these top guys. We love you. Bye. You know how you make a handkerchief dance?
How?
Put a little boogie in it.